What's going on? Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, and you're watching NFL Daily. I got the latest NFL news and rumors that are just swirling around the NFL Week 5 right now. And the biggest player going on right now in all the rumors, it's Jalen Ramsey. And according to sources, the Jags, well, they want to hang on to their man. So owner Shad Khan does not want to trade away their star cornerback. And here's the thing, they are so entrenched in their non-trade stance that apparently if a team offered the Jags 5 first-round picks, five, the Jags would say no. I don't really believe that between you and me, but this does tell Jalen Ramsey that the Jags, they want him on the team. And there is no doubt that this defense is much better with Ramsey. So, according to other sources, the Jags have apparently rejected offers from teams that have given him, or that have offered for 2 picks because teams want in return a second-round pick. So, the fact that the Jags are refusing to trade Ramsey, we might slow down the rumors a little bit on teams going after him, but there are still plenty of teams that are interested in the Jags star cornerback. And here are some of them. You got the LA Chargers, who do not look good whatsoever versus the Denver Broncos right now. The Philadelphia Eagles, who continue to have some injuries there in the secondary and could use a player like Ramsey. The Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs. I've said it 100 times on NFL Daily. If the Chiefs really want to win the AFC and beat Tom Brady and beat the Patriots, you need to make a move for Jalen Ramsey. So the question I'm going to ask everyone who's watching right now, because here at Chat Sports, we are the most interactive YouTube channel, and between you and me, I think we're the most fun. So I want you to type Y for yes or N for no. Will the Jags trade Jalen Ramsey? And if you say, yes, Mitch, they're going to trade Ramsey, be an overachiever. I want you to comment below which team you think is going to pull the trigger, because I don't know many teams that have more than 6 first-round picks. Let's talk about Stefon Diggs, and is he going to be traded? So he was fined more than $200,000 for missing practice this past week. However, they've rebuffed all trade offers. The Vikings, the biggest thing with Stefon Diggs was last week he came out and said, well, there's all truth to some rumors. And we were sitting here talking about whether or not Diggs was going to be traded because we knew that he wasn't happy. I mean, considering the fact that Diggs coming into Week 5 was on pace for 52 catches, only 76 targets. Heck, this is a receiver who had over 1,000 yards, who had over 100 catches the year before. And now this week against the Giants, he got a little bit more work, but still only 3 catches for 44 yards up against a Giants secondary that has been very, very bad the entire season. Now, Adam Thielen, he got his work in, but Diggs considers himself a top 20 receiver. And I do too, personally. I think he's a very, very talented receiver. So the fact that he still isn't getting the work that he wants, yes, I guess Kirk Cousins finally had a good game, but once again, it was only up against the Giants. So Stefon Diggs, there's going to be a lot of teams knocking on his door because I can tell right now that he's not very happy. And honestly, I'm not really happy that we're not at 150K subscribers yet. Get us to 150K subscribers. We're currently at 138,575. If you're a loyal watcher, what I want you to do is I want you to take youtube.com/chatsportstv and I want you to tweet it out. Put it on Facebook. Heck, put it on Instagram. And if you tag me in it, I appreciate you and I appreciate your loyalty. I'll retweet it. I'll share it. We're trying to get to 150K subscribers. I mean, let's face it. The more subscribers we have, the more fun these shows can get. Subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. And I want to give a special shout out to today's sponsor, BetDSI. They've hooked us up with a pretty baller promo code. If you put down $50, you're going to get $60 for free. If you put down $100, you're going to get $120 for free. So what I want you guys to do right now is go to BetDSI. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Put down that promo code NFL120 and bet on teams going to the Super Bowl like the Patriots, the Chiefs. One team you should never bet on going to the Super Bowl is the Denver Broncos, because things don't look good. They're 0-4. Now, right now, as I make this video, they're beating the Chargers, but they could go in full fire sale mode. If the Broncos keep losing, they could literally trade several key players. However, Von Miller was reportedly one of those players. He isn't on the trading block. Now, they do have several players on the last years of their deals, and considering the fact that the Broncos aren't really in win-now mode, you could see this team look to try to build extra assets, maybe get some extra draft capital. So here are some of the big name players for the Broncos that are on, well, I would say the trading block. You have Emmanuel Sanders, who, one of the best stories in the NFL, coming off a horrible injury last year and has actually been pretty productive. Then you have Chris Harris, who I would argue is one of the best cornerbacks in the entire NFL. And then Derek Wolfe. Here are three players that you could see the Broncos move if they continue to lose football games. So if you're watching the show, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications so you know exactly when we go live. Should the Denver Broncos be sellers? 1 for yes or 2 for no? I know we have a lot of watchers here that are Chiefs fans. I know we have a lot of watchers that are Raiders, 49ers fans. But I want everyone, all fans of all teams, should the Denver Broncos be sellers? If you were a Broncos fan, would you want them to sell? Type 1 for yes or type 2 for no. But let's go to the ATL. And it's Dan Quinn on the hot seat. According to the PFT, Quinn's seat is heating up. And according to me, Mitchell Renz, Dan Quinn's seat should be absolutely on fire. On fire. The Falcons right now are 1-4. And coming into the season, I was like, man, this is a pretty good Falcons team. And yet, they can't figure out how to win football games. And the fact that they could be 2-6 entering their bye, that should literally put Dan Quinn on the hot seat. So this is their schedule the next 5 weeks. You got at Arizona, who just picked up their first win this week. I would have said the Falcons would have won this football game. I'm not too sure anymore. Then you have the Rams, the Seahawks, the Saints. Those three teams are all playoff caliber teams. The Saints do not have Drew Brees right now. Teddy Bridgewater is still picking up wins. The Carolina Panthers, heck, they don't have their main quarterback in Cam Newton. And this team is still the worst team in this division. Is Dan Quinn going to be on the hot seat? Yes. Is he going to be the first head coach fired? I don't know. So I'm going to ask you, who will be the first head coach in the NFL fired? Is it going to be Dan Quinn? Is it maybe another coach of your favorite team? I want you to tell me in the comments section below. Is it going to be Jason Garrett? You might hear something from Tom Downey coming up in a little bit. Who will be the first head coach fired? Maybe it's Mike Tomlin. I don't know if I would put all the blame on Tomlin. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit now about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And first off, if you watch this video, please put the pray emoji in the comment section for Mason Rudolph, because this man left with a scary, scary concussion. If you didn't see what happened, he was hit in the head by Earl Thomas and totally knocked out. Then his head slammed onto the ground. Maybe one of the worst parts about this is he had to walk off the field. Why? How? How does that even happen? Well, apparently the cart didn't work. This is the NFL. There's not 2 carts somehow in the stadium. The last thing, if you watch that Mason Rudolph hit and you make that player walk off the field, the NFL should be ashamed of themselves. Like, we always talk about the NFL is trying to protect players. The fact that he had to walk off the field because there's not another cart in the stadium, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Mason, my man, I hope you feel better. Hope you rest up. Everyone who's watching this, make sure we get the pray hands in the comments section. So Mason, 131 yards, 1 touchdown. James Conner, 14 carries, 55 yards. Juju lives, 7 catches, 75 yards and a touchdown. But the Ravens still come away with a win in overtime, 26-23. Lamar Jackson did have 3 interceptions, but he did lead the team with 70 rushing yards. Willie Snead, 4 catches, 51 yards. The Ravens, 3-2. Steelers, they drop to 1-4. Let's go to my favorite player in the NFL. It's Drew Brees, and is he returning soon? Well, he might be. So the Saints, though, they're 3-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. And Teddy Bridgewater has stood up to everyone who doubted him. He looks absolutely great. The reason why we're talking about Drew Brees coming back soon is because there was a video of him throwing a football. And I'll tell you what, I wish I could make the internet as excited as what Drew Brees did when he was just throwing a football. The best part about this, the whole thing with success with Teddy Bridgewater, is there is no reason to rush back Drew Brees. It also keeps my bet safe on the Saints winning the Super Bowl at BetDSI. So this week going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 314 yards, a touchdown, an interception. And a lot of people are going to be like, but Mitch, it was against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers just beat the Rams just last week. Teddy Bridgewater has played sensational. Michael Thomas had an absolutely incredible game. Teddy Bridgewater is 3-0 as the Saints quarterback. The Saints right now have to feel very, very confident in that situation. But here's the next 5 weeks for New Orleans. You got at the Jags. That's a tough game. The Jags are a very, very tough team, especially at home. Then the Bears and Chicago, the Cardinals, and they got that Week 9 bye against the Falcons. I think the Saints easily win 3 out of those games. There's always, the NFL can get weird. They might lose a game to Chicago. I can see that since it's in Chicago. But I think the Saints right now win 3 out of those games. So which team will win the NFC? I know a lot of y'all are 49ers fans, and you know, they have a very good shot to win the NFC, and right now they're leading that division, which might be the best division in the NFL. But for me, I'm still going to keep my money on the Saints. I said that the Saints would win the Super Bowl. I'm a man of my word, and I've already put a lot of money over on BetDSI. So if you're confident in your sports predictions, you're confident in who you think is going to win the NFC, go put your money where your mouth is at BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet.